Obviously, for movie, the Akabam Fambra, 2K News and Blogs. Obviously, for latest news and updates, I hold one messaka. And I'm a day back about the song or channel with some message. Wadarma. Yabako, Nyaka could see, Nyaka could share video. Now, Zanano versus Ubuni and the Quason. Now, subscribe here. Now, subscribe edit on my channel. We are not Philip Face or Bet the Wagging or comment section or dear Hot here. And they can edit. I'm not like it. No, I share. I'm off of France. Any video in the young. Me and Kuti in Seminary.
Leaving no stone unturned to make sure that wherever there is that confidence shortfall, we put in other measures to ensure that we will still have some credible elections.
Where lies the problem? Is it with the electoral commissioner herself and her thinking, or is it with everything across the board in the electoral commission?
It's about everything we have discussed this morning.
I see. So let's take a brief swipe at the BVD and BVR issue.
Yes,
you know, there have been a lot of statements from the EC saying,
yes,
you're making a mountain out of a molehill. This is not the case. You are even now suggesting that you know, these are in the hands of certain people who are using them to register certain NPP members on the blind side of the NDC and all of that. And the EC says, stop throwing dust into the eyes of Ghanaians. Why are you doing this?
Where are the missing BVDs? My BVRs, where are they? This is a simple question that EC, if they don't have anything to hide, they shouldn't drag it to create all this unnecessary noise. The problem is coming from them. All right? Because the demands we are making, they are demands that ordinary people with ordinary intelligence will be making to satisfy ourselves that nothing is going wrong. They have every capacity to respond to those demands without it creating any problem. The fact that they are refusing to open up is the source of worry, and it will continue to be the source of worry. But because I think that if they don't have anything to hide, opening up would have resolved this matter long, long ago. You see, you have this, first of all, you are keeping these machines. Some get missing. You know, they are security machines, and they are kept under
lock and key.
Lock and key. Apart from that, you have CCTV surveillance. You have fiscal security surveillance. You have the military deployed 24 hours, police deployed 24 hours, an armored car in front of the Electoral Commission. And apart from that, individual commissioners are protected by armed personnel. Now, you have this sensitive equipment. Some gets missing. We are saying that, tell us, was there a break-in? In which case, you can examine the logs to see that somebody has broken in. So far, no break-in. You have a CCTV surveillance 24 hours. What story is the CCTV telling us? You say nobody should know. And the fact that this equipment got missing, if you are open, as you keep on saying, let the people know, let the people, if you are open, the very day you detect that these things are missing, what do? You inform Ghanaians. You inform the people that this sensitive equipment has gotten missing and we are on the lookout for them. Or these are A, B, C are the actions we are taking. You know, this equipment gets missing. Nobody heard about it until there was some rumor, and then our members of parliament actually questioned EC officials in parliament where they had gone for a different assignment. And they didn't have any option but to admit that some of the things got missing. Then the minority leader addresses a press conference and put it in a public domain that some equipment have gotten missing. Then you react swiftly that no such equipment has been missing from your place. Then we call an IPAC meeting to go and find out what was happening. Then it was at the IPAC meeting that you now admit that indeed these things were missing. And we ask you, what steps have you taken after that?
I mean, I think we are fully aware of some.
You understand? You know all these things.
Right.
So where we are saying that if it is public property that has gotten missing, what are you hiding about the fact that they have gotten missing? What are you hiding about the identity of the exact equipment that got missing? You are telling us that it was laptops, which are components. That is the key engine of the registration kit.
They say without certain operational allowances, those laptops mean nothing. They
Look,
can't be
all
used.
the laptops, the dangerous thing about it is that the laptops have been exclusively manufactured
for the process.
For the process.
Right.
And the Ghana Electoral Commission. And so, and that is at the center of the workstation for the registration. All the others can be bought off the shelves. And not all the,
so let me
like
just,
the scanner.
I get the point you're making. What is the end game here? Because, for example, you have said that you would use some technology to get the serial numbers at different, polling stations for some of these gadgets. Are you able to do that now? Is it a process you've already started?
Listen, we are worried because the same Electoral Commission is telling us two different stories from their own mouth, from one mouth. Because when we said that, let us identify those that are missing, so that everybody in Ghana knows that these 7 or 6 or 5 items are missing. So the serial numbers of this, if you detect it anywhere, or you detect the output from that equipment anywhere, then we all know that it cannot be part of our process. You say that, no, that one you won't give it to us. It's okay. If those that are missing, we are assuming that you didn't even record the serial numbers of those that were missing before they were taken away. Right. So let them go. But what we are deploying today,
they've told you for security reasons they can't
let
do
us,
that. But
so the security reasons, listen.
Are you going on that?
Just for a moment. If those that are missing, you are not identifying them to us. Those that are in use, you don't want to identify them to us. What type of transparency is that? And your reason for us to convince us to ignore those that are missing is that without an activation code, they cannot be used. You didn't say the serial number, because those that are missing have been stolen together with the serial numbers. So if the serial numbers are so sensitive that anybody who gets it can manipulate our elections, then we must be worried about those that are lost. We say those that are in use, let's have their serial numbers. And you are now telling us that the serial number, if you get it, you can manipulate elections.
We get that point. I'm saying, are you capable? You said you would get the serial numbers.
Yes, we are capable of that.
Have you already started doing that?
Yes, because in fact,
Did you just say yes?
Yes, I say yes. Before this issue became a public controversy, we had collected all the serial numbers for 15 regions.
I see, of these devices.
Yes.
How did you do that?
Because they are displayed at the registration center, and no registration or EC official thought that the serial number of an equipment is anything of any consequence. If you want it to ensure transparency, it is good for all of us.
Your people were taking photos of these because they are displayed on the gadgets, and so what?
It's there, and we are all sitting there. They took it, and when you are going to do elections, the BVDs We all take their serial numbers on election day. So if those you are using for registration, we say, let's take the serial numbers, how does it become security?
All right.
And so it was the regional officer for Ashanti region who refused to allow our agents to pick the serial numbers. And we said, how? All the regions we have picked. What is the problem? And then we reported to their bosses in Accra that this regional person is frustrating our effort. Then the bosses in Accra now hold a meeting and decide that the regional officer was right. So they now issue a circular that nobody should be allowed access to serial numbers.
But you're going contrary to that.
Because we have this or the 15 regions already. And we are picking the Ashanti region one, whether they like it or not.
In defiance of what the EC has said.
Because the machine is, you put it in public. And there are agents there. So what are you hiding? Can you be driving a vehicle on our roads and say that you won't allow anybody to pick the number? And that if I am a passenger and I'm boarding a vehicle, I want to take the number and send it to my wife that I'm on vehicle number so and so for my own protection in case something happens. You say, you won't allow me to take the vehicle.
But what does that say?
You want me to see?
You want a free and fair election. There's an
That's
arbiter.
what I'm saying.
Hold for me. There's an arbiter, the Electoral Commission, and they say go by these rules. You don't want to go by those rules.
Where are the rules?
There
There is no such rule.
No, but the EC
They are
has
insisting
said
on the wrong thing.
In this instance, on the back of security, reasons and all of that, we want parties to comply.
It is not
with this. And you say
easy.
you would
Why
not
didn't
comply.
they issue that one before the registration process if they knew that it was part of their security?
All right.
There was nothing like that. And there's no law they are trying to enforce. It is
I get
just
that.
impunity.
Right, I get that.
Because we are in power and this is what we want to do. How do you change the rules of a game when the game is already in progress?
I get you. You've already mentioned, I'll cap this off on the political front.
Yes.
You said that if elections were held today, you would expect the NDC to secure some 52% per your internal polls.
Yes.
There's also the long-standing issue of the flag bearer of the NPP not having a running mate.
Yeah.
Some have said there are different reasons for that. Some have even suggested that, it's a delay maybe to ensure that whomever they pick doesn't get too chastised before the elections. But why do you think that is happening? And do you think that works for your party, the NDC?
Because their official position is that a running mate is useless. Even when he becomes a vice president, he's a mate. So they don't think that getting a running mate is of any consequence.
I see.
That is their official position, according to Dr. Bawumia.
All right, that was succinct. Let's now get into some other.
Television for winning some about Betuja or a media nason and de about the sum has in Messrs. Wadarma. Watch video now between some pens we are now like we are subscribing and so much channel ma'am. Now we are done it this night on us after Rebea. Abibiano, me post video on sa, a bit me a video in 10 to say.